you good vibe, we shine on the light. Welcome to chat night, we bring you good vibe, we shine on the light. We all over the world, chat night Africa. We all over the world, chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night, we bring you good vibe, we shine on the light. Welcome to chat night, we bring you good vibe, we shine on the light. We all over the world, chat night Africa. We all over the world, chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night, the only place that we give you good vibes. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night, all over the world we are shining the light. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this year's edition of our Valentine's Day show on Chat Night Africa. The show actually is Family Matters. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. When I say Happy Valentine's Day, I choose my words very carefully because I can't imagine anyone that doesn't deserve to be in a peaceful, blissful, romantic relationship. However, deserving to be in one and doing what it takes to bring you your heart's desires are completely different things. That's why we are doing this topic. Listen, my friend, before you start thinking that you know it all, well, warning, caution. Once anyone begins to think that they know everything about love relationship, what happens is that they put themselves on the very slippery road to needless conflict. Do you want to be there? Today on Valentine's Day, the topic, get down to work and stop blaming the devil. What are you doing to make your marriage work? And as guests, we have two powerful speakers. The Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando, a prolific writer and speaker on relationship matters. The most Ada of all Adas in the Republic of Nigeria, Toyin Abiola, like Dr. Vando, needs no introduction to a lot of you viewers watching this show. As a matter of fact, Ada Toyin Abiola, I can't enjoy anything she enjoys doing. She enjoys talking about better than about love relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, join me now in welcoming the most Ada of all Adas in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ada Toyin Abiola.
Hello.
Hello, Ada Toyin Abiola. Thank you for accepting the invitation to come on this year's Valentine's Day, I would say again.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Chat Night Africa!
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'm going to introduce the next speaker. Join me now in welcoming Bishop Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando on the platform. And she has her own show online called Women Who Are Thou, correct?
Yes.
We will have a powerful show today. Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando, I'll give you a minute and a half for an opening statement.
Wow, thank you so very much, Divine. I'm so happy and honored to be here. I just want to say congratulations because you are doing a great job. This platform is very, very important because there are many things that we don't understand and we make a lot of mistakes. Like today, Valentine's Day, I'm telling you, there are many people who are spending a lot. They are doing a lot of things without themselves. When I say without themselves, it's because they've not given themselves into the relationship, but they think that money or things can take the place of love. And again, love has really been, minimized, especially in our generation, to only mean joyful things, all type of things that we use this day, and think that it can take the place of love. No, it is deeper than that. And so today, Valentine Day, I want to challenge everybody. Just look into yourself one more time until you've gotten to that point in your life where your partner or the one that you say you love means everything to you. Your love and passion for him or her has consumed you. Until you are at that point, I don't think just giving flowers, going to the most expensive restaurants, buying expensive things, I don't think that is really what love is supposed to be. And in this show, we are going to be talking about what love really is, because many people are confused. They have reduced love to properties. They've reduced love to money. They've reduced love to power, position, all of those things. But it is deeper than we know. So if you have logged into this show, I'm telling you, just keep your mind open, because it is actually about you and what is in you than what you are doing outside.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando. It will be provocative, it will jolt you, but it also will be very, very instructive. You can you might as well call this show Marriage Academy or Love Relationship Academy on Valentine's Day on Chat Night Africa 2024 edition. Here is the most Ada of all Adas in the Republic of Nigeria, Ada Toyin Abiola. Toyin Abiola, thank you again for coming. Each time we knock at your doors, you answer present. We are very grateful.
Thank God.
You are opening statements, and then some very hot questioning will begin with you taking the first question. Your opening remarks.
Okay, first of all, happy Valentine, everyone. I hope you guys are having fun. And just like the Reverend said, marriage is beyond Valentine. Marriage, the best gift you can give yourselves is honesty, sincerity, godliness, compassion, kindness. A marriage without a kind spouse is a useless relationship. A marriage without a compassionate spouse, or a relationship without a compassionate partner and understanding partner, is a waste of time. So even as we're celebrating this, I want us to really, 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 really focus on the most important thing. And the most important thing is how you are in your relationship, the things you allow in your relationship, the things you disallow, and the doors you opened through your knowledge or ignorance, so to say, through your consciousness or unconsciousness, so to say, will determine how your relationship and your marriage will be. So our talk today is really going to be focusing on attitudinal behaviors in your relationship, how you are treating your marriage, how you're treating your relationship, how you're treating your spouses and everyone that is living within your household.
Oh, yes. Somebody told me at that Toyin Abiola that while beauty can take you into a palace, it will take your character to keep you there. Toyin Abiola will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into serious matters with this song as the kicker.
I want you by my side, be my girl. I want you to be my angel, to guide me when I move. I want you by my side, be my
All right, you are watching this year's edition of Family Matters, Valentine's Day 2024. This is the edition for this year. Every year we come on here to talk about the things that people love the most. That's, love. I mean, like I said, Ada, I cannot imagine anyone who doesn't want to be loved or somebody who doesn't love. The thing is, like somebody told me, there is a wrong way to do the right thing. Question number one to you, Ada Toyin Abiola. A lot of people I come across love to be married. They are just unwilling to do the work it takes. Why is that? I mean, how can you want to travel to Africa but not want to board a flight?
I get that analogy. It's just how will I put it? A lot of things, everything has a foundation. We all have our own foundation, and the foundation can either be good or bad. It can either be wrong or right. A whole lot of people, their family upbringing, environmental upbringing, some people have been exposed to different circumstances, and so they don't see life as others see it. Some people see life as in survival mode only. And so they carry that survival mentality into every relationship, So, and some people see life as, give and take kind of relationship. Why others not so much they want to take from you, because that is what they've always known. Especially people who believe that the universe, so to say, has taken so much away from them, so they start to take from others aggressively. So it's a whole lot of foundational situation, right? But I believe that as you mature, as you grow older, right, and as you meet other people and mingle, we're supposed to really learn from our own situations and our circumstances and choose better for ourselves. Let me tell you something. There is nothing you can get in. Let me tell you something, right? So apart from all those environmental things, there is something also called greed, right? A lot of people are greedy, and that is part of the survival mode mentality. But I'm going to say this, right? There is nothing you can get. There is nothing right that you can get from negativity. So there is nothing positive that you can get from a negative behavior. Negative behavior birth negative consequences, and the positive behavior give birth also to positive consequences. So you cannot be greedy in your relationship and expect a better consequence. No, you cannot be disloyal in your relationship and unfaithful and expect a positive consequence. It's not possible. So it is simply what you sow in your relationship that you're going to reap, period. So if you sow negativity into it, whether it is because of your upbringing or not, that is exactly what you're going to reap at the end of the day. And if you sow positivity into it, that is what you're going to reap. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you this. Depending on how, this is what I'm going to say to you guys, right? Depending on how you have been raised, you owe it to yourself to give yourself the best. You owe it to yourself to give yourself the best. And giving yourself the best is not by causing harm and displeasure to another person. At the end of the day, you will see that in the end, you just ruined yourself more. Whatever seed you sow into other people's life, consciously or unconsciously, is going to come back to you at the end of the day. And so one of the ways you give yourself the best is simply doing right, period. Whatever you know right means, do right. And right always carries positivity. not negativity. Do you understand? So let me just stop for now so that I don't keep talking. Dr. Divine.
Right.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. And this is Valentine's Day broadcast 2024 edition. In just a moment, we have now Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando on the platform. All right. Thank you, everyone watching. I see people watching. People are watching on YouTube. This show is also on the internet. It's on LinkedIn. It's everywhere. At some point, we will open the phone line so that you can question our guest. You can also make your contribution. Do we always blame the devil? Why are we blaming the devil? If you slept and kept your door open, you blame the thief for sneaking in. What are you doing to keep away the thief? What are you doing to keep away the devil? Now, question to you. I'm going to ask you the same question, Reverend Dr. Vando, that I put to the most Ada of all Adas of Nigeria, Toyin Abiola. A lot of people want to enjoy bliss, romance in their in their marriage, but somehow it's not coming. They are frustrated. Well, I heard from somewhere, if you want to go to heaven, you must die. You cannot make eggs without breaking omelet. Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando, I love the way you always hit so practically on subjects like this. What is it that is worrying people? That they are at war at each other in their homes instead of being in love?
Yeah, thank you so very much. I really appreciate uh, my sister Ada. That was a very brilliant teaching. I'll call it a teaching. You know, I come like an older woman to speak to our generation. Actually, marriage is becoming a place of pain, a battlefield, and which from the beginning it wasn't so. The author of marriage never made it so. On the contrary, marriage is the sweetest institution that God ever made. Marriage is so sweet. The problem in our generation is that people do not take time to know what they are getting into. Most especially, let me talk about women because I'm a woman. Many girls, when they get to a certain age, 20, 25, if in this generation is even less, 20 before they are getting to 25, 30, I'm telling you, they have this I call it marriage fever. And therefore, they do not take time to choose, to make a choice. And they are not, they don't know what they are getting into. Marriage can be hell here on earth and can be heaven here. So, young ones, listen to me. Marriage is not something you just jump into. So the reason why we are facing all of this is because we have not really looked at what we are getting into. Some people just want to escape being alone. Some people just want the name. They say, I just want to be Mrs. This. Some men just want a woman to serve them. Some men just want a woman, a sex partner. So we are getting into this thing for the wrong reasons. And so we are not passionate about it. We are not committed. And therefore we ourselves, we don't bring pleasure because we do not value. Marriage is just losing its value every day. So if a man is abusing the wife, the man is telling the wife, I don't see any value that you add to my life. That's what you're saying. So many people, especially today on Valentine's Day, many people will be proposing. Many people will be saying even to their spouses, I love you. Do you really mean what you say? So if you tell somebody I love you, what you are saying is, I choose you over every other thing, over every other person. I choose you willfully. I've looked at you. I've seen that you are valuable in my life. And so I choose you. So when you say, I love you, especially, and many young people just throw this word love around. Many young people think that, marriage is just a joke. It's not a joke. It can destroy you. Marriage it can really be so cruel. So this is something very serious. Today is a day that people will just be doing things superficially, physically, not coming from their hearts, from their character. Just like the former speaker said, your background, but your background will not put your back on the ground. Please, you have to study. You have to make up your mind. You have a willpower. That is why they don't ask your father or your mother, do you love this person? They ask you, do you love this person? Have you chosen to spend all your life with A or B? Is you. And therefore, you have to make up your mind to make a great choice and be passionate about it. Many people are not passionate about marriage, about their spouse.
Yes, keep going.
As for me, my husband is the first person I think about, is the last person I think about every day. I'm very passionate about him. There are times I just jump on him and I'm so thankful to God that God blessed me with a man. There are many women they want to be married. There are many men they want to be married. But when God blesses them with that partner, they take the partner lightly. They don't even appreciate. They are not passionate about them. They are not committed. You are married, but you are more passionate about your job. You are more passionate about something else, your family. You are more passionate about children. You are more passionate about something else. How do you want the marriage to work?
Thank you so much. And that is Reverend Dr. Carolyn Vando. She will be coming back on the platform. And you are watching Family Matters, this special day, this year's edition of Valentine's Day broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'm going to bring up the Ada of all Adas on the platform before Dr. Vando comes in. Okay, Ada Toyinabiola again on the platform. You are watching this broadcast anchored by Divine Chamukong. That's my name. I'm in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Ada Toyinabiola, what are you doing to make your marriage work? I'm going to ask you that question, you're a married woman. Let's get practical right now. What do you do to make it work? I see you smiling every day. And Bishop Dr. Caroline Vando says, marriage can be sweet. When you say marriage can be sweet to some people who are having hell in their marriages, it could sound like speaking Chinese to non-Chinese speakers. The whole concept is vague. It's absurd to hear that marriage can be sweet. Toyinabiola, speak to us. What are you doing to make your marriage sweet?
For me, I just believe that the most important thing is to be humane. Do what you want. Do unto your partner what you want them to do to you, period. And that is just the simple arithmetic I have personally. The things I don't want my partner to do or to feel, I try not to do them. It's as simple as that. Because at the end of the day, I just look at it as, if I do this thing consciously or unconsciously, depending on whatever it is, to really hurt this person, it's going to, what's the point of the relationship? That is just like, I always come to a conclusion of, if we are really, really hurting ourselves like this, right, then what was the point of it in the first place? Why you? Why me? Did I come into this marriage so that I can be crying? Did I choose you so that I can be weeping? Did I choose you so that I can be perpetually sad? Now you have to ask me why I have to choose that lifestyle. Why should I choose that lifestyle for the rest of my life? It's as simple as that. And so I cannot give you, I choose not to give my spouse what I really don't want them to give to me, period. And that is how I personally have been living my life. Now, another thing is the Holy Spirit, my relationship with God Almighty. Because there are times that definitely, because we are flesh, there are so many things that we want to do from flesh. We can be vindictive when something offends us. Yeah, we human beings, we have the tendency to be vindictive. We have the tendency to be vengeful. When we are angry, we have the tendency to be spiteful, and so on and so forth. So, but the Holy Spirit, when you have God, with God, He guides you, because you will listen to Him in the most difficult times of your life. That time that you feel you are alone, that time that you feel discouraged, that time that you feel down, that time that you feel used. Do you understand? You feel used, at times. And then you have God. And then God becomes your support. He becomes your succor. He becomes your encouragement, your motivation. He becomes your pillar, your fortress. And when you have God in those moments, to forgive will become very, very easy. To let go will become very easy. To overlook will become very easy. To ignore some things will become very easy to you, because those things can never happen from the flesh. I shared it one time. I said, all the things you want your spouse to be is in the spirit, not in the flesh. The good things you want them to be, because the flesh, unfortunately, cannot give birth to the things of the spirit. Only the spirit can give birth to the things of the spirit.
But at that Toyin Abiola, somebody's going to ask you this question. There are people who are not churchy in their relationships, but they are doing apparently better than those who are singing on the platform in praise and worship teams and speaking in tongue.
That is why I did not talk about church. I said spirituality. Your spiritual relationship to God is very important. You don't have to go to church to be spiritual. You don't have to go to church to know God. Going to church helps you. Don't get me wrong, because you just don't know what the pastor is going to teach that day that will help your spirit, that God is going to put in the pastor's mouth. So I'm not saying don't go to church. I'm not saying don't have that relationship, that religious mindset. I'm not saying you should not. But being religious does not translate to being spiritual. There are so many religious people that are not spiritual. There are so many churchgoers that don't have a relationship with God Almighty. But having a true relationship with God Almighty translates to your spirituality. Do you understand? And it is from this spiritual standpoint that the Holy Spirit now starts to direct you. The Bible says that if we're going to worship God, we should worship Him in spirit and in truth. He never said worship Him in the church. He said worship Him in spirit and in truth, wherever you are.
You are watching.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I believe everything's fine. You are watching Voices of Africa, and I just got notification that Roy Mama will join us at 2 o'clock. Yes, I'm going to now bring on Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando to answer some questions, and then you come back on. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando.
Oh, thank you so very much.
Dr. Vando, you definitely, you are bishop of a church here in Maryland. You are definitely not going to disagree with what Toyin Abiola said. But the question I'm going to ask you right now is human beings are both spiritual and physical. So, are some people paying too much attention to the spiritual and neglecting the physical? If yes, what is it in the physical that you must also take into account to enjoy that marriage, which you say can be sweet?
Marriage is, to me, marriage is very sweet. You know, just like she is saying, we have to work on ourselves to be able to be pleasurable to the other. And that goes with spirituality, and it goes with any other thing you have to do to develop yourself. You see, was it 2 days ago? My husband made a statement that really pleased my heart. He just out of the blues just said, I can never have a boring marriage. I was like, what? What did you say? He said, yes, because my wife is always doing something new that makes my marriage lively always. So personally, I believe that whether you are the husband or the wife, you have to work on yourself in a way that you become pleasurable to one another. As for me, I make sure that I bring laughter most of the time. Maybe I just get up and I start dancing in a way, or just give my husband a hug and say something that will make him laugh. And those things are coming from my inner man by the Spirit of God. So I have to build my inner man to make sure I'm pleasurable to him. And he himself also builds himself. If you have a partner who always will say something that will bring laughter, bring joy, bring play, you will also try to make sure that you are also bringing in something that will bring the joy, that will bring the play. There are many people who never grew from marriage to friendship. They just got married and they stay as husband and wife.
You are watching you're watching Chat Night Africa, and the broadcast is our Valentine's Day special this year. On the platform is Dr. Caroline Vando, and you are harping hard on the physicals, the areas that we need to focus on to meet the physical needs of love relationships. Yes, continue, ma'am.
Yes, so I was saying that when you equip yourself,
yes, keep
then
going.
you can produce pleasure. I gave an example of what I do at times. You know, there are times like if I'm setting food for my husband, I'm singing, I'm dancing. I come and put it down, and then before I know, he is smiling because I came with joy. That comes from the inner man, from my spirit. So I'll even encourage, even like my sister said, even those that are spiritual, let your spirituality produce some pleasure, produce encouragement, produce joy, produce laughter. My husband was able to make that statement. In fact, he just made it out of the blues. Oh, I can never have a boring marriage. Why? Because my spirituality is meeting his needs in the physical. That joy, that peace, he's looking forward to coming home, because before he opens that door, I'm going to jump on his shoulder. Something happened, was it yesterday? One of our friends met us. We were going to some club, or
Sam's Club.
one of these big stores, and then the person called my husband and they said, wow, I'm so happy. I know that Mama, you are so happy that daddy is here. Before I knew it, I was on his shoulders. I just jumped on him,
watching.
and even after that, to me, I was like, oh, when did I do that? And then the man was laughing. My husband too was laughing. The atmosphere of joy, the atmosphere of peace, that friendly atmosphere, that is what we have to cultivate. I love to do those things. Sometimes we are all home, we are busy. He is busy doing something, I'm busy doing something. I was just like, okay, break time. Okay, I need to come and sit by you now. I come and sit by him, put my head on his chest, and then he holds me, and then we are quiet for some time. The more you are together, the more you hug yourselves, the more you give time and kiss one another often, the more you develop the friendship, the more you are open to one another. You graduate from just being a husband, a wife, to being a friend. Because when you are friends, there is nothing that you hide from your friend. You will not be having secret bank accounts. You will not be having all type of things, because the man becomes your friend, the woman becomes your friend. Those are those practical things that I do in my marriage, and I make sure I change the names often. Sometimes you say, oh honey, no, some other time, hey, baby, I change it again. Just keep changing and bringing some life, and then your partner comes along. It might be in my couple, I'm the more outgoing one, but my husband tags along. It might be the man. If you are more outgoing, just keep going. The woman too will follow. If you empty yourself totally and nothing is in your hand, then your partner can put his hand in your hand. But if you're holding maybe job, maybe your family members, you're holding something, you are holding maybe money, so your hands are not empty. He cannot put his own hand in your own hand. There is something you are holding. Just let go. You made the choice. You say, I choose you to live with you, not for the now, to live with you all my life. And so if you make that choice, it doesn't matter what comes. It should not shake your choice, because nobody forced you to make the choice. It was out of your will. As for me, there is nothing, no challenge that can shake my choice, because I made it deliberately and I made it out of my own will, and therefore my choice stands. Need divine, as I always call you, need divine. The problem with many people, they do not know the power of choice. And therefore, yes, I pray. After all, I'm a pastor, I'm a whole bishop. I pray, but in my prayer place, what is my prayer topic? Father, today, let this home be joyful. Let this home be peaceful. Father, give us laughter. Then the Holy Spirit will give me ideas of things to do. And then I do those things, and what I've prayed for begin to manifest that day. So let me stop here for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you that when Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando comes on, and when we also have Toyin Abiola, there will be fireworks. And you are watching Valentine's Day special broadcast on Chat Night Africa. My name is Divine Chiamoko. I'm in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
My baby, I want you to be mine. I want you by my side. Be my girl.
And Toyin Abiola, the most Ada of all Adas in Nigeria, is back on the platform. Toyin, you have heard the very practicals, best practices. I would even say best practices. When I introduced, when I announced this show, I said it'd be a marriage love relationship academy, and that is what it is. Most people think that they know already too much, and once you think you know too much, you begin to deteriorate. Because I think it was on your on your platform. Somebody, there was a post which said you can never ever know your partner 1000% every day. People are changing, circumstances are coming up, babies are coming up, family members are coming, and all those things. Now, somebody's going to say, yes, I do all these things, but I don't have the response from my spouse. My spouse is not reciprocating. What should I do? She's taking me, or he's taking me for granted. What should such a person do?
So, that, as our Reverend was talking, Reverend Vando, that was exactly what was in my mind. And I wanted to ask her this, and I'm just going to ask her that. What if you have a spouse that is not responsive? As she was talking, I said I was going to ask her that question. Now, and I'm so glad that, and I personally want to believe that your husband, made that atmosphere bearable for the both of you. I want to believe that he encouraged that joyful atmosphere with his behaviors.
You can ask your question. You can ask your question. You can ask your question.
Okay.
Yeah, ask her the question.
Okay, so the question is, how would I put it? Has your husband been this supportive from the beginning, or did something change along the line? Because I'm just looking at it from an emotional standpoint for people who might not have that kind of support. So what if they've been doing it for a while and their partner is not as responsive as they want them to at the end of the day? What if you were in that person's shoe, taking your bubbly nature? What will you do?
Thank you, my beloved. Anything that works, there is someone behind working. And this is my belief. It works for me, maybe it will not work for others. I believe that the woman is the newer version of humanity, the newer version of the man. And God said it's not good for that man to be alone. And he brought me in to turn the no good into good. Let me tell you, my husband's personality when I just got married was he's strict, to the point, no nonsense man, and very easy to be irritated. That is how I met him. Okay, since I believe that I am the good thing that I've come in, I've come in to change this life. And the Lord knew and gave. He always would say, you didn't just happen, my wife, I prayed for. He always says that, I prayed for. So it wasn't easy, but I never stopped being who I am. I always tell him, I'm Caroline, I'm not Leonard, I'm Caroline. So I stayed Caroline. And with prayers and with the help of the Spirit of God, and me identifying, I'm telling you exactly what I do. I don't mind teaching. My life should teach others.
That's right.
You see, identify those things and I break them down. As you say, life is spiritual, life is not physical. So if I see that he's too strict, I take it, I break that spirit of anger, I break it down. And I do my prayers in the night. When I finish my wifely duties, while he is resting, I'm up to pray. I set the atmosphere of my house. I set the atmosphere of my marriage. What has to come down comes down.
mm,
What has to be planted, planted. Then when I get up, then I'm Caroline. I bring that play. I bring the those he will always say, "Oh,
those,
you are
yeah.
very funny." He
Mm,
always will say, "You're very funny." Some of my children, they when they talk, they make people laugh. Say they take
mm,
after you. Then I
mm,
continue to be Caroline. I forget about what he did yesterday that was wrong. I
mm,
forget about the hurts. By the grace of the living God, I it, I just go over all as if it never happened,
mm,
and I just keep being Caroline. Before I know it, my beloved, my husband started even taking my ways more than even me. I'm like,
mm,
what? Thank you, sweet Jesus.
mm,
Thank you, Lord. Because he was a man that would just walk away if
mm,
you get him angry. He would just go him away. He wouldn't talk, but he would go away from you.
mm,
But today, he is so patient. He will be there. He always will say this. I always think, what will my wife do? Then
mm,
I will do
mm,
as she does.
I'm going
It
to ask.
takes time.
I'm going to
It
ask
takes
both of
time.
you. I'm going to ask both of you a question, because now we're sliding on the path of conflict management.
mm,
After the glitz and glamour of the wedding all gone, the marriage actually begins, and
mm,
people are going to have conflicts. Bishop Caroline Vando is married to a bishop, and they
mm,
have, I would imagine that they have conflicts. They
mm.
can't see one thing from the same perspective all the time. I mean, that's
Certainly.
humanly not possible. So I'm
Yeah.
going to clear the stage for you two to have a conversation about conflict management. You can question each other. Who wants to go first? Adato Abiola. Conflict management. What are the best practices? After that, you can ask Bishop Caro a question or
The
vice
Reverend
versa.
has she was already saying it in her response to me already. She was already saying how she managed her own conflict in the relationship. That is profound, ma, because your your temperament, because individual temperaments too and emotional intelligence differ from person to persons. And so I think maturity is needed, because I see that you were super matured in handling it. A whole lot of us, especially in our generation, we have that zero tolerance. We have that zero tolerance because we believe that people should come correct. At least we are in, yeah, we believe that people should come correct. See, if I'm bringing my correct self into your life, you bring your correct self into my life, or you give us space so that better people will come our way. So now the situation is, right, a whole lot of people are dealing with, I'm sorry to use this word, but shitty, very, very bad mannered and badly behaved spouses. And that is really putting so much pressure in their relationship, and it's making them go at each other. So in this our generation now, I'm sorry, I'm taking the question over from Mr. Divine, but it's better for us to ask from somebody who is really experienced. In this our generation now, how do we, and with our own short temperamental nature now, how do we tackle the situation?
My beloved, the highest and noblest proof of true love is sacrifice.
Hmm,
I say it again. The highest and noblest proof of true love is sacrifice. We all want to enjoy our marriages. You look at a man, I really love this man. You look at a woman, I really love this woman. But we forget to know that yes, it's free,
mm,
but there is a price to pay.
mm,
I
mm,
want I want a loving home, a loving family. But let me
mm,
tell you, there is a big price to pay. I can sit here to tell you, many people look at my family, they admire, but they don't know the price. They don't
mm,
know the pain.
mm,
They don't know it. Because even the children, our children are big now. They are
mm,
also parents now. But
mm,
let me tell you, what we have been through with them has not been easy because of the pain they will bring. But you know what? Somebody has to sacrifice. It is true that in my couple, we have both sacrificed a lot.
Mm.
But let me, as a woman, my sacrifice is like a daily type of sacrifice because you have to deal with everybody and
Mm.
harness the family. There is one of my shows I talked about the woman being the glue of the
Mm.
family.
Yes.
So you have to sacrifice. Let me
Mm.
tell you, there are some men you can't stand their ways.
Mm.
Let me take the common thing that happens with most men.
Mm.
Because there are many women, and when they see they are drawn, they are so distracted in their relationship, most men, because they are distracted left, right, left, this
Mm.
woman, that girl, this and that. But this is where sacrifice is so needed. You have to sacrifice that feeling, that ego, that all of that. Put it on the altar, put it down, and know that something good will come out of this. I'm not going to leave my man to any woman. I'm not going to let my family fall apart.
Mm.
I'm going to be firm. I'm going to keep showing my concern, my passion. I'll keep being pleasurable. I'll keep sacrificing. Let me tell you, there is nobody under this sun except that man is a devil himself,
Mm.
that you can continually do good according to the word of God that says you shall do good to the man all the days of your life, not some days,
Mm.
not for
Mm.
6 months,
Mm.
not for 10 years, all the day. It is written. So there is no human being except that one is Satan himself,
Mm.
that you sacrifice, you keep doing good, you do not do anything behind him. Everything is plain. He hides his money because he has to go get some hotel with a girl or whatever, buy this or that. But you don't hide anything. If you continually do that, even God himself in heaven will step in.
I agree.
You rightly said something at that touched my heart. You say no two wrongs make a right. So if you have to be doing wrong because some other person did wrong,
Mm.
there are many women that will go out and have a boyfriend because
Mm.
the husband has a girlfriend. Oh
Yeah.
no, where is the sacrifice? No, I will never do that. Never in my life to do anything wrong because my husband did something wrong. Never.
Yes,
Now,
ma.
this
Ma.
you are watching. It's getting hot. I told you when these two ladies come here, the temperature, the temperature in the room, you got to adjust your thermostat.
Ma, I also want to ask. Okay.
All right, Ada Toyin Abiola has another question
I have
for
question. Oh.
Doctor. Hey,
I
look,
have many
Toyin,
questions.
I think you are going to be one of the anchors on Family Matters here. I just love to listen to both of you.
You know why I
Tell me.
have so many people who reach out to me, and especially couples. Like a week ago, I had to talk to a couple in South Africa, both of them, and this were part of the things that we were, talking about. And now, my question again, my is, should the woman always be the one sacrificing?
Good question. And I will not hesitate before I answer. Why? Because the word of God tells me, he who finds a wife
Mm.
finds a good thing.
Mm.
Listen, I take you backward again. The word of life says, it is not good for the man to be
To
alone.
be alone. Mm.
And then he said, if you find that help that I have given you, you have found a good thing. A good thing. The woman is a good thing. Divine help. Divine good thing. That is why when a woman steals, it looks very upward. When a woman is upward, they associate good things to the woman. But if a man steals, it's okay. If they catch a man, committing adultery, it's okay. But a woman, it looks ugly. Why? Because she is a good thing. So as a good thing, you are coming into a scenario where one person needs needs someone to help him. So how can the helper not be the helper?
Right.
So her life, yes.
Dr. Caroline, and I'm going to put this question now to, and both of you don't have to agree. I'm going to ask this question now to Toyin Abiola. Dr. Caroline actually acknowledges that there are men in the world who are really devils. I mean, that's the truth about it. We see them every day. They take the women for granted. The woman is working her ribs out, and all that you do with the money she brings to you is to go meet another girlfriend, or sometimes abandon. So sometimes it's going to be tough for the woman, prayerful as she may be, to continue doing what they are doing. Now, the question, I'm going to read something I read from a book written by Reverend T.D. Jakes. Stop fighting to be right. I repeat, stop fighting to be right. He was writing to couples. It's counterproductive to judge your spouse's responses, likes and dislikes using yourself as a metric. It is the epitome of arrogance to approach problem solving by elevating one perspective over another perspective. Now, the question I'm going to ask you first, and I'm going to ask the same question to Reverend Dr. Vando, is what is the role of arrogance/ego in conflict management? Toyin Abiola first.
It ruins everything. Ego, you cannot bring ego into a relationship and expect the relationship to work. It's not possible. Ego will ruin everything, whether the ego is coming from the man or coming from the woman. I always talk about being humble, and I always talk about being whole within yourself. And many a time I've talked about not forcing who you are on your spouse. Or just because you are outgoing, then you expect your spouse to suddenly become outgoing. Just because you are romantic, then you want your spouse to be romantic. Maybe you marry somebody who is not romantic and will never be romantic. Do you understand? Or just because you are the kind of person that is open. You're opened with your secrets. You tell your secret, then you expect your spouse to be opened with theirs. It will not work. If you are bringing that kind of mindset into the relationship, then you should have married somebody who was exactly like yourself. But many a time in the marriage, we get the opposite of ourselves majority of the time, and it's usually for us to grow and learn. Marriage, majority of the time, prunes us. It removes those unwanted behavior and attitude in our pattern. If you are too emotional and you depend solely on another person, more or less, I call it feeding off of another person's emotion. Some people are so emotional that they feed off of their partner's emotions. If you are that kind of a person, then you need to be whole within yourself, because your spouse might not be that kind of a person. And just because your spouse ain't this type of person does not mean that you have to walk out of your relationship or your marriage. The only thing, my only problem is when there is abuse in the relationship. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, and all this kind of abuse. To what level, to what degree, again, are we talking about? And so on and so forth. But either way, you cannot bring ego and your pride into a relationship and then you want it to work. It will not work, whether it's coming from the male or the female.
All right. I can see Roy Mama. She will be coming on at 2:00 because soon Toyin will be leaving the platform. But Toyin, before you go, Reverend Dr. Caroline talked about, and probably she's going to react to this. She talked about the distractions that men are exposed to. You go to Walmart and you see this beautiful lady in miniskirt. Your wife doesn't wear miniskirt, and your attention is now that way. Now it's like you go to a restaurant and you order your food. They bring the plate of food in front of you, and you begin to salivate over the plate of your neighbor's food, your neighbor's plate. So what's the point? So how are you going to do this? People who think that, well, the grass is greener on the other side, the distractions. How do you handle the distractions, whether men or women?
Greed. You see greed. You see this long truth. Let me come down to myself. You see this long truth. There is something we call contentment. Be contented with your choice. And I'm glad that Reverend hammered on being like, if you've made a choice, you stick with that choice. See, let me say this. Nobody is 100% a perfect spouse to anybody on earth, whether male or female.
I like your candor. I like your honesty.
Oh yeah, nobody on earth. You as a man, I'm telling you, your wife is not your perfect 100%. And no wife has a perfect 100% in a husband. We manage what we have chosen, and we manage who we have chosen. It's as simple as that. There are finer men than our husbands. There are richer men than our husbands. There are sturdier men than our husbands. But we choose, we look forward, and we look unto God.
I'm going to ask you a personal question, Ada.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a personal
let me answer that your stock question.
Sure.
So when men go outside and they see somebody in miniskirt, like other people will suggest, if you want your wife to be in miniskirt, wear miniskirt. But saying, oh, because I am distracted. In the word of God, God says, thou shalt not commit adultery. It's both to the men and to the women. He knows, he created the men like that. But he knows that there is a way that you can learn self-discipline and self-control. I believe everybody should work on that. So don't say, oh, because somebody is... There will be women with big boobs outside in public. Let me be vulgar. There will be women with BBLs. In fact, these days now, they are ruining the men's life with enough BBLs outside. So that you know very well how to get distracted, you'll be distracted for the rest of your life. But what is your goal?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is your goal? What goal do you have for yourself as a human? First of all, as a child of God, as a husband and as a father? It's as simple as that. If you are focused, I'm telling you, you can never be distracted with the power of the Holy Spirit.
And you are watching Family Matters, this year's edition of Valentine's Day special broadcast. Toyin, I'm going to ask you as a personal question before you go. You are a very beautiful woman. That's why I call you the most Ada of all Adas. Your husband is a very cute guy. I happen to have seen his picture. Very cute. You made a good choice. But are there times that you go to the mall and a guy passes around, you say like, he's cute?
Oh,
I mean, what is...
It's normal. Okay.
Is it normal because the Holy Spirit leaves you for a minute, or what happens?
No.
How do you manage that? How do you manage a situation like that?
A fine person is a fine person. And we have eyes to see that, okay, this person is fine. That does not mean that I have to lust over the person. There is a difference between thanking God for a fine person, a fine man with good abs, and then lusting over the man. Those are two different things. It starts with the mind.
I ask you that question on purpose. And
it's also the same for women too. Beautiful women. Even me, when I'll see some beautiful women, I'll be like, wow, God, Jesus, you finished work on this person. This lady is beautiful.
I will be asking the same question to Roy Mama. She's in the waiting room.
It's as simple as that. So it is what it is. I want us to be real. But just because we see fine men and fine women does not mean that we should not be disciplined and we should lust over them. No. That is
I know you have to be somewhere shortly. I'm going to ask you for your last word. What's your last word? Then I'll release you and then bring up Roy Mama to have a conversation with Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando. What's your last word? The most
Yeah,
other of all of
actually,
that?
I'm really enjoying the show right now. So I'm sad that I have to step away, even
I
because
know.
I kept looking at time, right? Because I was enjoying Reverend Dr. Vando, and since Roy Mama is coming on, it's gonna be hot, hot,
Oh,
hot,
yeah.
hot, hot. So the thing is, at the end of the day, right? This is what I'm just gonna say to people, right? If you've made a choice, stick to your choice and do right. Respect yourself, respect the choice you made, and do right. It's as simple as that. And if you believe that you cannot do right by this person, sit them down and talk about it and say, okay, you know what? Maybe I made a mistake in this. Maybe this marriage cannot work. And maturely walk out of that relationship instead of causing mayhem and chaos or ruin in another person's life. And I want to say this, and just like Reverend said, talked about prayers. You know how she said that she will go at night and be praying. Let me tell you this, right? There is no way on earth that some people are not married to demons. Let me just put this before I go. And that is why you have to be seriously prayerful. Unfortunately, many are not married to humans. And that is why you see a whole lot of behavioral negativities in their relationship, because the Bible says a good tree cannot produce bad fruits and a bad tree cannot produce good fruits. So maybe you are dealing with something that is super spiritual, and whatever is spiritual, you need spiritual solution to tackle it. Physical problems need physical solutions to tackle them. Medical problems need medical solutions to tackle them. Maybe we are not using the right solutions to tackle our own marital problems, individual marital problems. So let us make sure that we open our eyes, choose better for ourselves, and live from a positive mindset all the time. It is
Thank
well
you so
chosen.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adatoyin Abiola.
Thank you for having me.
Adatoyin Abiola, you have somewhere to go right now to do some things.
Yes.
We'll see how people on the platform. Roy Mama will be coming up momentarily. I can see in the waiting room. And then we'll continue, obviously, with Reverend Dr. Vando, Caroline Vando. And remember, ladies, when your husband makes you angry, tell him this. It's not good for a man to be alone.
To be alone.
Thank you so much again, Adatoyin Abiola.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
And in a moment, we will bring up one of the queens of social media. That's Roy Mama on the platform. And then we'll also continue with Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando.
I want you to be mine. I want you by my side. Be my girl. I want you to be mine.
And right now on the platform, it's Roy Mama, Queen Roy Mama. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. We're glad to have you on the show today.
Hi, Divine. I'm so honored. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Ooh, I see my sister Yola left. I'm so mad.
Too bad. She's gone. She has other things to do. You will be on with Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando. She is in the waiting room. She will come up shortly. Now, the question I'm going to launch at you, it's a very controversial question. I know, Igwe, you're married to a very handsome guy from Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. You are from Cameroon. I know that for sure. No, but there are times you go out, you find these other cute guys out there. There's so much distraction. That's just one angle of it. You also have the distraction of social media. You walk into a house as a man, you're coming back from work, and your wife is on WhatsApp, WhatsApping all around the world. How do you combat all these distractions to stay focused in your marriage? The queen of social media, talk show, social media. We are hearing you. Everybody
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, hi everybody, and thank you so much, Daddy Nee, for having me. It's an honor to be here again on your platform, talking about love. This love matter is not easy. Oh. And happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and all those viewers who are watching us today. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Lovers Day. Ah, that is huh. That question is very. I'm happy that you asked that because that's the situation that I go through every day. There's never a day that somebody has not sent me a message, oh, I want you, oh, I want to be with you, oh, you're beautiful, oh, I like the way you do this, oh, I like the way you do that. I think one thing that you just have to do is to be able to contain yourself because not get carried away with all the excitement and stuff. Especially when it has to do with social media. Social media has become now a very toxic place where you might want to have a very innocent conversation with somebody and then they take it to be something else and then the next thing they're broadcasting you out there as if you had an affair with them. So what I do, I don't just respond to anybody. I try not to. If it's somebody that I feel like it's a friend or someone that I feel like I know and that is that direction, I definitely just bluntly tell them, you can't do that. It's disrespectful. I am this, I am that, and move on to the next conversation. Um, if I see that somebody is trying to constantly want to be that person, you just block them. That energy is not needed. Again, you can't stop people from feeling the way they feel. You can just be you and decide how you want to react to the situation. So that's just basically it.
Now, the next question I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask the same question to Reverend Dr. Vando. Communication, communication, communication. It's popularly said or known by everyone that communication is to a love relationship what blood is to the brain. What is it that everybody knows about communication, and yet many people have so much problems communicating with their spouses? What is the problem?
I think, first of all, we're coming from a community or a society where we're not taught how to really speak out, or we're not taught how to express our feelings when it has to do with emotions and stuff like that. We embedded a lot of things, and at that point in time, we fought a lot by ourselves, not being able to express ourselves. At 18 years old, why would you tell your father that you have a boyfriend? Or why would you tell? I remember the first time I had a boyfriend, my brother cleared me out from one end to another, and I fell from the other end. And my father was so excited, he clapped that good job. At 18, 19, my son had a girlfriend and brought the girlfriend and told me that I had a girlfriend. And we were comfortable enough to bring this girl home, sit down. We had a conversation. We felt like a family. So this is a different era. And during the time that we were growing up, we realized that communication was not our thing. So it's very difficult for people, even at this time, to be able to express themselves. But as time goes on, people have definitely learned that that is the only way out when it has to do with relationship. Because if you don't speak out, and then the other person will definitely not understand who you are or know the kind of a person that you are. So you definitely have to do it in whichever way that you find it. Find a way to do it so that the other person might be able to understand you. A lot of people kind of assume that they know their partners, but they don't know. Because if you don't speak out or you don't ask questions, somebody will not understand which they're not magicians to know that you're going through a certain feelings. I remember when we were still younger, or you had a boyfriend, or you had someone, you would just sit on one corner and you're pissed off all day, thinking that that person understand that this is the reason why you're mad. And they will come after 2, 4, 3 days. Why are you still angry? Well, so if you don't say it, the person will not definitely be able to understand. So I think that we have held back for a very long time. And to be honest with you, communication is the biggest breakthrough in every relationship. If you're not able to communicate, then definitely you can build a relationship. That's what I know.
Everybody knows about communication. So what is stopping? What stands between good communication? You're sitting in front of somebody, but you are screaming. The person doesn't need to scream. You're screaming.
I think
So
that people have two different way of doing things, different background bringings, and different community that they've raised themselves in, and also the fear of being able to be judged. You don't want to say something that you trigger an emotion from someone else. Somebody has come out from a very difficult relationship. They will tend to look at you like someone else. just because you wanted to voice out your opinion or say in a certain way. So I think just the fear of the unknown. That's just what is killing people. There's nothing really scary in it.
And I'm going to open the phone line now, 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. You want to ask Roy Mama or Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando a question. Roy Mama, I'm going to bring Reverend Dr. Vando on the platform, and you will ask her any question related to love relationship that you want. That's a blank check I give you, and I'm going to make way. You are going to take my seat right now.
Oh my God.
That's right. And that's okay. This is Valentine's Day special this year, 2024. My name is Divine Chamokong, and I have two very articulate ladies, very loud, mega voices in social media about love relationships, how it should work, what are the problems people are facing, why people are facing the problems they do. Now, Roy Mama, I'm going to clear space, and you are going to take my seat temporarily. You are going to become Divine Chamokong. Ask Reverend Dr. Vando any question you want, and I will be right back. Now, your first question.
Oh my God, Uncle Tia put me on the spot. Hi, Reverend Dr. Vando.
Hi, darling.
It's an honor.
Happy Valentine's Day, my dear.
Happy Valentine's Day, Mom. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Okay, my question is, do you think that religion breach communication in relationships?
Yeah, it's good that you're talking about communication again, because I really wanted to say something about that.
Okay.
Yes. What I will even let me say this concerning your question, then I'll relate to that. I'll bring in communication. Religion is, I will not say religion, I will say spirituality, knowing God and growing in the knowledge of God should actually make it easier and enhance it. Because if you know God, and definitely you will you will be married to some other person who knows God, because the two of you have to be equally yoked. And so it makes it much more easier. It's not like it makes it totally easy, but it makes it easier. So talking about communication, I think what we are missing here is growing in the relationship as husband and wife. Because if you grow in your relationship, you grow into friendship. It's friends that communicate easily. It is friends that will share easily. No wonder even Jesus stayed with his disciples for a while, and then he told them, he said, now you have proved your love for me. You have scaled some heights. So now you are no more just, I wouldn't just call you brethren, disciples, I call you my friends. So in this thing of communication, when we grow in a relationship, not just being husband, wife, playing the role of a husband, you are a wife, me, I'm a husband, I'm wife and you are husband. If we can grow that relationship into friendship, we'll communicate much easier. There will be nothing that will hide, because we are friends. You see, talking about the daily challenges of meeting a more handsome man or a more beautiful girl. Like in my marriage, that's not a problem, because we communicate a lot. It doesn't mean if I would tell my husband, oh, I saw that man. Oh, this is our friend. And he would laugh about it. Oh, I saw that girl. This is like, we laugh about it. And that helps to strengthen one another. So instead of just being strictly husband and wife, we are married. You have to be that husband, I have to be that wife. My prayer is that let every couple grow into friendship. So friends don't hide anything. Friends, they love to chat, they love to play, they love to share. So you can share. Your husband can tell you, oh, this is my experience. I went to work and I had this experience. You will not be offended. You just talk about it and laugh. I can also share, this is my experience. Oh, I saw this person. Me, I love dancing a lot. So anybody that dances or sings very well attracts, I want to look again. I will share with him, oh, I saw this man, the way this man danced. And then we talk about it, we laugh. So it does not become a problem. So communication comes to me out of friendliness. My prayer for every couple is to grow into friendliness, friendship. Many people are married, but they have friends who are not their spouses. It's wrong. It's wrong. I don't have any other friend but my husband. So if he has another friend, I don't know what to do. At one time it happened to us. We were in a conference and he came with a classmate who is a friend to him because they were in school. And they came for that conference. And I'm just standing there. I said, okay, dear, what do I do now? What do I do? And they had to tell his friend, I'm sorry, we don't really have people in between us. So please. And then the friend said, okay, and left. And then we continued together. And, so let's learn to be friends. That is going to help the communication.
Question number 2 from you, Roy Mama. Or I mean, come on, you can cross-examine Reverend Dr. Carolina as you want. I'm going to make space.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm kind of a little bit. I was trying to find out that. I want to try to understand what she said about that. As a Christian, you can't have another friend. Your friend only has to be your partner. I'm trying to understand that
No,
part.
not as a Christian. No. Not as a Christian. This
So,
is generally. I was
okay.
saying that if you are a Christian, you are not yet married,
Mhm.
naturally, you're going to look for another Christian. And so if you are married to another Christian, it can only make it easier. I didn't say easy totally,
Mm.
because you people have the same beliefs and you do things the same. Two cannot work except they agree. You agree on many things, but it does not really wipe out the challenges, but it only minimizes it. That's what I was saying.
Well, so does it mean that, I'm sorry, so does it mean that if you're a Christian, you cannot have a friend that is non-Christian?
Why not?
Okay. I have a question.
What do you mean by friend? What friendship? Okay, when I say a friend is closer, the Bible says a friend that sticks closer than even a brother. Friendship is deep. Friendship is very deep. So it's not just like knowing somebody like my neighbor. Hello, hi, good morning. Hello, hi. You meet like now. You are my friend now. Know you. I'll say hi, hello. But that friendship is deep. Is deep.
I have a
So
question.
maybe that's where you're a little bit confused.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think that people who are spiritually yoked are kind of a little bit judgmental when it has to do with non-Christians, how they live a lifestyle or how they deal with life?
Yeah, they are, but they are not supposed to be so.
Okay.
They are not supposed to be so. I shouldn't judge you. Why should I judge you? I'm not your God. Salvation belongs only to God, not to man. So if I love you so very much, all I can do is pray. If I see anything that might not be good for you, I'll just pray and that's it. But I'll love you.
I'm going to ask
Like
both
I'm
of
loving
you.
you right now, like this. I love you.
I'm going to ask both of you a question, and Roy Mama will answer, and then Reverend Dr. Caroline Vander will answer. Roy Mama, today is Valentine's Day. People are going out to restaurants. Some people are meeting for the first time, dating, kind of having courtship. What is the kind of conversation that people should be having on their first date? You first, Roy Mama, and then Reverend Dr. Caro will follow.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy for that question. I'll share a little story first before I definitely dive into that. Last year, this same day, 14th of February, I do a matchmaking live show on Facebook, which I put strange people together to find love and build a better relationship. Last year, this same year, I sent two people on a blind date, and 8 months after they got married, we celebrated an amazing wedding. These two people who knew they never knew themselves found love between each other and followed through with our counseling and finally got married. That's my goal. When they first of all went on the first date, let me go back to the question that you just asked. When they went on the first date, I was in a place where I was kind of a little bit shaky, a little bit, but at the same time, I knew the two people that I was sending on a date. One of them were very naive, and the other one was a little bit out there that had lived a little bit of a lifestyle and all that. But for the two people to be able to move forward to the next date, I had to caution them a little bit, tell them the kind of a conversation to have, and how to pull through that date. First and foremost, most of the time when people like us, my African people or my brothers and sisters were back home, when we want to go on the first date, a lot of time people think about what would I wear? Wow, I'm going to go eat and drink. And at the end of the day, some of them even go home without even knowing the person that they went on the date with. They don't know what's your name, what kind of a job do you do, your profession, what tribe are you from, do you have a child or you don't, are you what job do you do, where do you live, what is your 5 years plan. Sometime if you're here in the US and they ask about your credit score, it's your credit score good, because that is very important. Credit scores are very important. Those are the little conversation that people would should definitely have on a first date, trying to get to know each other rather than just diving into the whole thing and think that they've met this cute guy or cute woman they just want to eat and feel emotionally or sexually attached, and then bam, the things are done. But I think people need to be very intentional, especially when they're going on a first date, especially when you're at that age where you feel like you definitely want to settle. You have to be very intentional. What are the kinds of things that you're looking for in a man before you go on a date, so that you might be able to have that conversation when you get there.
Dr. Caro, you counsel people in the church. If you had to put some people together, they're going on a Valentine's Day date, what conversation should they be having?
Oh my God. The first thing I will advise is that they know themselves in the spirit first. Who is this person? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some people who are snakes. They are moving human body, tigers. So my first advice will be pray. Ask the Lord, show me who this person is. So that you don't go and be talking to somebody who is not who you think he is. That's the first thing. So the second thing is two cannot walk except they agree. And the first agreement usually should be spiritually first. If we do not agree we don't have the same faith, we don't agree on the same things, it will not work. For instance, if you are somebody who is a traditionalist, you believe in all type of, like where I come from Mancon, Cameroon. If you are somebody that believe in what can I say? I left those things long ago, so it's hard for me to remember. You believe maybe in removing people's cause when they are buried. You have to remove again and go and do rituals, and I don't believe in that. I'll be like, hey, no. So those things, you must know, what is this person standing on? What is this person leaning on? What are your beliefs? What if there is a problem, how do you solve it? What are you standing on? What are you leaning on? What is your strength? Everybody has a strength. Everybody has a strength. You must know the strength of that person. Where is it coming from? Where's your strength? What are you standing on? It's so important, because if you blindly accept somebody, and then let just like my beloved sister, there was this lady who actually was dating this man he thought she loved.
Mhm.
This man was a spiritist. When they are in bed, when they are sleeping, the man will come out at a certain hour, and he is enchanting with candles. This thing scared this girl. She came and told me, I said, the best thing is just opt out now. Because there are some people who want a woman or a man for a sacrifice. There are many people who have pretended that they want to get married to a woman or to a man. There was one woman on Facebook telling how she get young men, and they harvest their organs. So you
Wow.
must understand, who is this person? What makes you kick? What do you what what are you standing on? What are you leaning on?
Now, I'm
You
going to
must know.
ask you, come back with closing remarks, 1 minute each. Roy Mama, somebody wants to date another person, and they go out. What is it there to detect somebody lying? Just telling you what you want to hear. After all, back home, when you want to catch a chicken, you don't show the knife first. You throw corn when the chicken is in the house. That's when it begins to dawn on it that there's hot water and hot oil on the stove. So how do you know that somebody's just not telling you what you want to hear? Roy Mama, you first.
It's so funny that I was gonna ask Reverend Doctor that. Um, I was gonna ask her that. Do you know that you cannot actually know somebody on the first date? It takes courtship to be able to understand, or friendship to be able to understand who you're actually dating or who you're actually going to marry. I think that on the first date, a lot of people would definitely not know that maybe somebody is lying or somebody is not lying, or they're telling the truth and stuff like, unless you're kind of really you've been out there and you've dealt with a couple of people, and then you understand that this man is like this, he's just telling a whole lie. Especially if you meet someone who talks too much, who wants to tell you every little thing that they have in this world, and flaunt it all over your face and all that. There are a lot of people who want to flashy stuff on you just to make you understand this is how they are, this is how life is. But in reality, they are not that person. But I think that it is really difficult to really get to know someone on the first date. I think that subsequently, maybe if you go out on a couple of dates, or if you get yourself in a friendship, and then as time goes on, you will definitely detect a lot of that person. People really need to be vigilant, and have an open mind to be able to understand. Most of the time, young women, out of desperation, they just jump as soon as they meet someone in the first, they feel like they've got. They start posting you on their WhatsApp status. They start posting you everywhere, telling everybody they found this, they found heaven. Especially when they meet someone who is very flashy out there, who will tell them the things that they want to hear.
The thing that they had they won an African Cup of Nations
Ah,
trophy. Reverend Dr. Caro, how do you know that somebody's just not throwing corn like we do chicken, and then the chicken gets in and you shut the door? How do you know that?
Well, I know there are many people would
And
not
when Mama
like.
begin to prepare for your last word, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I know many people would not love to hear what I'm saying now, but please, I pray that they should open their hearts and listen to me. Life is spiritual, life is not physical. What you see in the physical is not real. The real thing is in the spirit. You must know who you're going to meet.
Mm,
Pray, ask the Lord, show me who this woman is, show me who this man is.
mm,
And God is faithful. If you do that with all your heart and you have had a relationship with God, many people, they are praying for a partner, or they want a partner, but they don't go to the God who instituted marriage.
mm,
They believe in themselves. They go to every other person but the one that instituted marriage.
mm,
So if you don't go and ask him and know this person, you will never know the person. Some people can hide. Some people will show their best side, but they are devils. Like this girl that was telling the whole world how he gets young men for her money. They harvest their organs.
mm.
Can you imagine how nice this girl was saying she behaved to this young man?
I can
But that
imagine.
is their death.
All right.
But a prayerful boy will know and say, I'm going like this. They want to kill me, and will run away.
All right. Now, we are going to come back to each guest for a last word. Time for us to have just a short transition interlude. And that will be for less than a minute. We will bring back our guest for their last word. Stay tuned.
Africa, Just Night 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 Africa. Top Night Africa. Africa by continent. Africa is a beautiful place.
And you are watching this year's edition of Valentine's Day special. We have two powerful guests on the platform. We would now bring them back on for their closing remarks. And we will begin with Queen Roy Mama.
I want you to be my baby. I want you to be mine. I want you by my side. Be my girl.
All right, Roy Mama, the song we used to listen to when we were growing up. That High Life, you are married to a Nigerian cute guy, Igwe. I'm sure that you are familiar with, you relate very well to that track, the High Life song. Now, let's have for about a minute and a half your closing remark. You have the stage, the platform, all to yourself.
Hi everybody, and thank you once more again, and thank you Oni Divine for having me on Chat Night Africa. Oh, this is a Valentine's Day special. Wow. I just want to say that when it has to do with relationship and love, I wish everyone should be able to invest emotionally, physically, morally, spiritually, not waiting for only Valentine's Day to be able to express that love to your partner. I think relationship has to be built every day. It's a constant. It's like a full-time job where you definitely put in the time to make it work. Remember, we're two people from different backgrounds and different culture and different also peer pressure backgrounds. We have to be able to compromise and make it work. I know it's not easy, especially someone like me who has less patience when he has to do a lot of things. But I've learned as time goes on that patience is very much important in every relationship that you build. Communication is one of the tools that breaks the yoke. If you're not able to communicate, I don't see why you should be in a relationship. I think people should be able to open their mouth and speak. That's your husband, that's your partner, that's your lover, that's your friend. I don't see why you should be scared to say what you have to say. And how you say it also do matters. Most of the time, I think where the problem lies is how we're able to put out the information that we're trying to pass on to our partners. Most people sometimes feel like their partners are their kids, where you can raise your voice and yell and talk anyhow. But this is like a business. This is like a partnership where you have to be able to respect your partner and be able to build a better home. So Valentine's Day should be something where we experience every day and just use this one day as just one extra special day to just sit out and do something funny and something sweet, not to be able to go out of our way to express our love to our loved ones. But if you're used to expressing that love every day, it would definitely not mean that much to you. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day to every one of you, and wish you all the best as you go through this journey of love. Thank you. Nia,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roy Mama. Thank you so much for that beautiful closing remark. Don't go away yet. There's something very interesting I'd like to play so that you will see. Before we bring on Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando, I have this little transition. It's about somebody who has always been on this platform, but who currently is in the mortuary in the Republic of Cameroon. She left Maryland for Cameroon to come back 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, caught malaria and did not make it out of the hospital. Stay tuned. Bring on Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando. You will love this.
All the happy faces, praising God in heavenly places. What a thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Possible. Right now.
never leave the palace. Told she will leave, never leave the palace. She will leave and die.
Well,
your brother has gone. I want to protect your brother, but I will sit and protect.
Thank you so much, Tilda. May your soul rest in peace. Tilda will be buried on February the 24th, 2024. Tilda was on my show so many times, like Roy Mama, like Reverend Dr. Caro. She was on this show so many times. I can't even count how many times. Like Roy Mama, like Toyin Abiola. Each time I called Tilda to come and talk, Tilda will never ever hesitated to. Next Wednesday, the 21st of February, we will be doing a special show on Tilda called Tribute to Tilda. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'm going to bring back Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando to say our last statements. Yes, Reverend Doctor, that was a moment of grief there.
I know, Nidhi. Well, she's in our future, and may her gentle soul rest in peace. That's just life.
And before your last word, I want to tell viewers that what Chat Night did for Tilda, we will do it for anybody. If Ray Mama happens to go before me, I'll do the same thing here for her. If Reverend Dr. Vando goes before me, I have a ton of your videos and pictures. I will do the same for all these people who spend so much time, sacrifice a lot to come on social media and educate people. Now, your last word, ma'am.
Thank you so very much. I just thank God for what you're doing, Need Divine, because as you see, life is just what it is. But the time that God has granted us here, we should be able to use it well. And homes, families is the foundation. I call it the foundation of life, because your home is where you stay. Your partner is the first person you see in the morning and the last person you see in the night. So you just have to be peaceful, happy, joyful. My prayer is that let couples be peaceful, joyful. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is sweet. I just want to leave us with some 4 points that can help us somehow. Let us know that we have to be passionate about our marriages. Let's be passionate about one another. Let's put in, because this is where we live. This is the foundation of life. If we are not passionate to make it loving, make it joyful, make it sweet, where else? Even if you go out there, you will still come back home. Let us be committed. Let us not be committed to other things. Some people are committed more to their jobs than to their partners. Committed to money, committed to all type of things. Let's be committed to one another, and God will bless us. Let us bring pleasure. This is the third point now. Let us bring pleasure to one another and to ourselves. When you make your partner happy, you are making yourself happy. So let us do what bring pleasure. Bring things, sacrifice things that will bring pleasure to one another. So I've spoken about passion, commitment, pleasure. The last one is sacrifice. Let's learn to sacrifice. Everything that we want is there, but there is a price to pay. Let us pay the price for our homes, our families. Pay the price for our marriages. Let us enjoy it. God did not intend to bring two people together for pain. No, he intended that we enjoy one another. You know, I pray that the joy of marriage on this day of Valentine's Day, let the joy of marriage return to all marriages. I pray that let there be a renewal. Let there be a refreshing. I pray that we'll go back to our first love. The day we first met, the day we made that choice, the day that we said we do, let us go back and remember. Let it be a refreshing. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing better than a sweet marriage, because in that sweet marriage, every other thing will come out. Prosperity will come out. Good health will come out. Beautiful children, successful children, wonderful family relationship will come out. So let us pay attention. Let us pay attention to our marriages. Above all, do not forget, pray for one another. Pray for your spouse. Pray for your marriage. Pray for your family. Even now, I pray that God will bless Chat Night. Bless this platform. Need Divine and Chat Night. That even as God is using this platform to educate people, that our lives will never be the same again. So I speak sweetness today. I speak cooperation. I speak commitment. I speak love. You are blessed for life by the best. You are number one. Besides you, there is no other. After you is you. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
We love Chat Night Africa. Keep watching Chat Night Africa.
And thank you so much. What a beautiful way to wrap up this show. Thank you, Roy Mama.
I want you to be my baby.
And next Wednesday, this time, 3 p.m. Washington, D.C. time, it will be a show tribute to Tilda.
Be my girl.
I want to thank Queen Roy Mama. She has the Roy Mama Show. You can check her out on Facebook. Reverend Dr. Caroline Vando, so passionate about marriages. You can check her out online. Check her on Facebook as well. Woman, who art thou? That show will challenge you. And the most Ada of all Adas, Toyin Abiola. You can also check her out on Instagram and all the social media handles online. All right, and thank you so much. I like to call you Na Bishop. You can find our shows. This show is online on www.chatnightafrica.net. We are on LinkedIn Live. We are on the Internet Live. We are on Facebook, 2 places live. And obviously on YouTube, you will find this show there. Please have your friends, your relatives, go to the Marriage Academy today. I called it Marriage Academy on Chat Night this Valentine's Day. Thank you so much, Roy Mama. You're such a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine. Thank you, Queen Toyin Abiola. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Vando, for coming on. We've been on this platform the past many, many Valentine's days, the past years. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how we wrap up. Merci à tout le monde. Whenever you hear this, that's time we are closing down,
I'm coming
shutting
back.
the curtain.
I'm coming back. I'm coming to get down. I'm coming to dance, We're gonna dance, we're gonna get down, we're gonna party hardy. We're gonna boogie woogie, and when we jam, it's out of sight. This song right here, it's dynamite. I'm ready, I'm coming back.